Hi, someone in my Facebook group posted this scrapbook layout recently, and it's made with something called an Asa template. But shapes like this are really easy to recreate in Inkscape or ScanNCut Canvas. So today I thought I'd show you how I've been making a few in Canvas, and then you can have a go at doing them yourself. The basic functions that you need are subtract, and you may occasionally need to use divide. So this is a scrapbook layout. As you can see, there's a piece of red scrapbook card here, and then this shape would have been a template that was used to cut out of on images or scrapbook paper or card, and then you layer it all up to give this effect. Here's one I've been playing with in ScanNCut Canvas. The red, again, is just to give you an idea of how it would look on a piece of card. And then I've added some words and I've made my shapes. So I'm going to go into the basic shapes, start a new project and show you how I've been making mine. So first of all, I'm going to come into the basic shapes and I'm going to choose a circle. I'm going to hold the Shift key down and drag it out so that it more or less fills the page. I'm going to come to the borders section and I'm going to choose, we'll just go with this one for now. I'm going to hold the Shift key down and rotate it, and I'm going to stretch it out so it's bigger than the circle. Now you can see the width here is 1.41 inches. You can make this whatever you want, and also you can adjust it once you've got your design separated, because when you stick your sections down onto your scrapbook paper, you can choose to stick them closer or further apart. I kind of like to work with around about 1/2 inch or something like that, but it's not really vital, as I say. The main thing that you've got to remember is the shape that you're using. So in my here, this border always has to be on top of your main shape. So I'm going to put this over and I'm going to right click and choose bring to front, which hopefully will make sure that that is now on top of the circle. And you can position this anywhere you want. I'm going to create a duplicate just for now and put it on one side. And then I'm just going to drag a box around these two. See, it's selecting this one as well, so I'm going to click, hold my Shift key down and select that. Now I've only got these two, and I'm going to hit subtract. So that's the first one. I'm going to bring this one over. I could have done them together, but sometimes you don't always necessarily want them done together. In fact, I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to hold the Shift key down and rotate it. Bring this one back over. I'm going to position this one just over. See, this is a group, so I'm going to right click and hit divide, and that will separate this piece from this piece. So now I'm going to make sure this piece is on top by bringing to the front, and I'm going to position it about there. While it's selected, hold my Shift key down and select this half of the circle, and again hit subtract. So now I've divided that up into 3. I'm going to go back to the basic shapes, choose a rectangle. Again, I'm going to make it narrower and I'm going to stretch it out. So I've got my rectangle, I've filled it with colour, and I'm just going to place it over this section. So I'm going to select it, hold my Shift key down, select this and hit subtract. So now I've divided the shape up even further. So you could leave it at that. You could add, let's go into the logos like I did before. In fact, no, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll group all this. So select everything, right click and group. And just to make it easier to see, I'll fill it with colour. I'll go back to the basic shapes, choose a square, hold my shift key down, drag a square out, select that and fill it with red. Send that to the back, so that's right click, send to back. I'll select both, edit, align, center, and edit, align, middle. So that would give you an indication of how this would look if this was a piece of scrapbook paper or card, and then you've got your sections. We'll go to the logos, and I'll do what I did before. So I've got fun and summer. Just put that back behind. Then these you could cut out just in a different coloured card. So let's go for bright green for now. So you can see how the layout would come together quite easily. And then what I might do, I'm going to choose this, right click, ungroup. So these are all now individual sections. I'm going to come to the text, I'm going to choose a stencil font, double click to get the flashing cursor. I'm going to type 2015, hold my shift key down, rotate it, make it slightly small. I'm going to position it over the top. I'm going to fill it with pink just for now to make it easier to see. And I know it's on top of the black then. So while the pink's selected, I'm going to hold my shift key down and just select this black section, and again hit subtract. And now that's punched that out of that section. So you can see how a design would come together. I'm going to save this. Into my projects, and then we'll do another one. So we'll go back to projects, create new project. I'll use a different shape this time. I'll use the heart, hold the shift key down, drag it out, get a rectangle, make it narrower. I'm going to duplicate that, position that there. Make sure this is on top by right clicking and bring to front. Select everything, subtract. So now we've divided that up, and this is still a group. And sometimes if you want to just work on one section, this is where you've got to right click and hit divide. So let's see what we can do now. Go back to borders. Try this one. We'll rotate it. Might have it going through there like that. We'll try this and see how this looks. Right click, bring to front, select everything, subtract. Okay, so now you've got that. Then what I did on one of my other ones, I'm going to select this and make it narrower. And then I put it over one section like this. Now this is all a group at the moment, so let's see. I'll right click, make sure it's to the front. Just going to zoom out so I can get everything. And then I'm going to hit subtract. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we've got that now. Again, I'm going to fill it with colour. Something's happening to my screen now, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to fill this with colour. I'll make it black, just so it's easier to see. Get a basic shape, square, hold my shift key down, drag it out, fill it with red, send it to the back, right click, send to back. I'm going to select both, edit, align, centre, and edit, align, middle. Okay, so one last thing I forgot just before we go any further. I'm going to choose the red and just hit delete just to make this easier to see. So while I've got this layout here, I'm going to go back to the basic shapes, choose a circle, and you don't have to fill it with colour, I'm just filling it with colour to make it easier to see. I'm just going to leave it at its default size, right click and create a duplicate. I'm going to put that there and I'm going to overlap the heart with it. We know it's on top because you can see the whole circle. If it was behind, you'd have black sections showing through. While the heart and the circle's selected, I'm going to hit subtract. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to do an inward and I'm going to take it up quite a bit. Let's try 0.28 and see what we get. And then I've got another circle I can put there. I can delete that. So this could be a journaling spot, or it could be another photograph. So there's all sorts of things that you can do. Just going to save that. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next one. Let's try with a rectangle. And we'll just drag it out, and then if you double click and you can see this line is selected because it's highlighted in blue, if you come over here and change it to curve, you'll get these handles. You can then start to manipulate your shape. Then if we select this one and again select curve, and this time if we bring these handles out, we get a different shape altogether. Now I'm going to drag this out, not holding my shift key, so that I can get, and then I can manipulate this a bit more. So here's another shape, so let's go back to the rectangles. We'll do something very simple on this one. We'll divide this one up into 3, I think, so right click, duplicate. Make sure this and this are on top. Right click, bring to front. Right click, bring to front. Select everything, subtract. And let's go back to the borders, see what we've got in the borders. Let's try the hearts. So we'll rotate it by holding the shift key down. Right click, bring to front, select everything, subtract. Okay, again this is all still a group, so remember to make sure you divide it before you put it onto a USB stick to put into the ScanNCut machine. So again we could save that. I'm just going to get another square and put it behind. I'm only doing the square so you can see how the layout would look. Again, I'll just fill that with red. While it's selected, send it to the back. I'm going to fill this one with black to make it easier to see. So again, that's another layout. But what you could do, let's just see if there's anything else we can do. Let's go back to borders. use this one again. Now I only want to select the black section and the border. I'm not touching the red section. Hit subtract. Okay, so now I've got that. What you can do now, that would obviously be one layout. If you got rid of the red, that would be a layout. I undo that. Or you can select everything. We know the black's on top because we can see it, and hit subtract, and now you've made a frame. So that's another alternative, and that was made by manipulating what started out as a square or a rectangle. Obviously this one, by the way, before I just finish, this one would be left as a group because this would be a frame, but the others you would make sure you separate each section. This one you could slide your photograph and section behind it. I mean, you can print photographs now on A4, or you can have them printed at any size you want. 12 by 12, you could get a 12 by 12 photograph and just put that frame over it, and it kind of divide it up into those 9 sections for you. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.